What's up? Welcome to the podcast. The season's over, and the best time of year to be a basketball fan is about to begin. We got the first round of the playoffs playing, and then the first round of the playoffs. It's always been my favorite time of the year. I love the matchups, the first round. There's so much basketball on, so many great matchups, so much just high quality. The games really start to matter. Let's face facts, the last few weeks, no one's really there's been a few teams that have been trying for seeding, but doesn't matter like it matters now, especially with the play-in games coming up. We got the Warriors at the Kings rematch of the first round of the playoffs last year that went 7 games, and the Warriors did knock off the Kings behind a 50-point triple-double from Stephen Curry, if I remember correctly. What do you guys think? Is that process going to repeat itself? Or the Kings going to get redemption? Both of those teams, I mean, those that was probably maybe the most exciting series, maybe of the entire playoffs last year. We get it again. Riley, what do you think? Warriors or Kings?
This is a weird one because I think that the Warriors are potentially a little bit worse than they were last year. And they barely got it done. But I kind of feel like the Kings have regressed too, to be honest. They did not take the next step like I thought that they were going to. I
No
expected
Red
them,
Rocket.
yeah, I expected them to be, up in that like 4 or 5 position at least, and they've really kind of struggled this year. So I think still experience is going to carry the day. I think that Golden State's going to get it done. I just don't think that you want to go in to that game as Sacramento, and have to, play against that level of experience. So yeah, I think Golden State pulls it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be I think it's going to be a hotly contested game. I think the Kings fans are always among the best in the league.
Like
Uh,
the beam.
the Kingdom, it's not
Is
there
the
anymore.
beam still a thing? I don't even
Golden
know.
One Center. Yeah, we haven't been hearing about it this year, have we?
They haven't been lighting it as much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the West took such a step up as a whole this year. They really ganged up on the East. Last year, that wasn't as much of the case. Um, what was their record? So they were 46 and 36, and that's only good enough for ninth. That's tough. Like, yes, they didn't end as a top seed, right? But 46 and 36 in your ninth, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty absurd. So uh I think that it's gonna be close. And my heart says the Kings, my head says the Warriors. I'm going my brothers in Sacramento. The Kings are gonna get the Warriors out of here. A sad little ending for their dynasty. I'm picking the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, don't let me down, buddy.
The thing I think is interesting about this one is the Kings had the Warriors number at the start of that series. They were ahead almost every game until the series wore on, and then Steve Kerr made his adjustments. The the experience started to matter more as the series went on. The Warriors aren't going to get any second chances this time. And I think that the youth and the offense and just the energy that the Kings have, I think they're gonna knock off the Warriors too. I just think the Warriors, their strength lies in, having a series wear on, have Steph Curry just wear you down with his ridiculous shot making, Steve Kerr's adjustments, their experience, and they're not gonna have that advantage. So, yep, I have the Kings beating the Warriors. Second matchup from the play-in from the West. Los Angeles Lakers versus the Pelicans. Colton, you were saying the Pelicans have been one of your favorite teams to watch. What do you think's gonna happen there?
Yeah, last season I was really high on the Pelicans, and they were the 1 seed for a while, and then Zion went down, and I just like watching them play. They got CJ McCollum, Blazer legend. I like Brandon Ingram, always have. I've been wanting him as a Blazer addition for a while. Trey Murphy, lethal shooter, Zion, Valanciunas, they're balanced. They're balanced, and Zion's exciting. When Zion is rolling, and playoff Zion, what are we going to see from him? On the other end, what are you going to do with the walking free throws, right? Like the Lakers, if you look at the free throw numbers, are so absurdly far ahead of everyone else in free throw differential this year. Part of that is because their two stars play inside. Part of that is because they have a purple jersey with the Lakers on it.
Ref
And
ball.
so I really don't think the Pelicans are going to win this game, sadly for me. It just feels like it's inevitable, when a team goes against the Lakers in a play-in game, what's going to happen? What's the league going to want?
NBA needs LeBron in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I think the Pelicans end up making the playoffs. I think they're going to be the one that loses as the high seed in the first game, and then in the second game gets to go in, right? But for this game, I have the Lakers.
Yeah, the game's gonna slow down. Zion hasn't shown that he's able to step up in those kinds of moments. We know from personal experience that CJ has issues in these
Exactly.
moments.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Lakers are gonna pull it out. They are gonna shoot an absurd number of free throws. AD's probably gonna play really well. And that's what they need. So as long as those things happen and they don't have anybody go down in the first quarter, yeah, it's gonna be LA.
Yeah, I was hoping no one was gonna say it, but you got it, Riley. I think CJ, I have no faith in him. He's gonna be the one that has to carry that team in the crunch time situations. He's gonna have the ball in his hands. He's gonna be the one shooting.
Ingram.
Yeah, but he's gonna be the ball handler. He's gonna be the primary point guard on that team, and he is in clutch time situations for the most part throughout his career. He's been a turnover and brick machine, and going against the devastating defense of Austin Reeves or whoever the Lakers throw on him, I don't think the Pelicans are going to get it done. I have the Lakers as well. So that matchup leaves the Pelicans and the Kings for the second round. Colton, you already said Pelicans.
Yeah, and I mean it depends on who wins and loses in that 9-10 game.
But you
Uh,
had the
I have
Kings
the
winning, so
Kings advancing and going. Yes, uh, I do. I have the Pelicans in this game. They would be the home team, and I just think that Zion, the Kings don't really have a Zion checker, to my knowledge. They have Davion Mitchell, but he's a guard defender. Harrison Barnes, he's one of. Fun fact, Riley stat bomb here. Sabonis and Harrison Barnes both played 82 games, I believe. They were like the only duo in the league. But
wow.
that doesn't really help you stop Zion if Zion's healthy. So I got the Pelicans in this one.
Riley, you would have the Pelicans and the Warriors in that second play-in.
I think Steph has a monster game in that second play-in game and gets it done.
Yep, I have the Pelicans and the Kings. I think the Kings actually get that one done and take the eighth seed. So
We
that
all
would
have
lead.
different answers.
So that would lead for me. The 1 versus 8 would be OKC and Sacramento. I think OKC gets that done. I think that that's one of the. I think that they would have more trouble with an experienced group. Like if they matched up against the Lakers or the Warriors, OKC would have more trouble. I think with the Kings, both those teams are pretty young and inexperienced, and OKC just has so much momentum plus home court advantage. I am taking OKC in that one. Um, Riley, you would have the OKC and the Warriors.
Yeah, I think the Warriors take them to the brink on that one. I really do. I think that they show them what playoff basketball looks like. But I think OKC, with just their overwhelming talent, they would be the better
That
team
that would be
in
a
that.
hell of a matchup.
It would. And I think it's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think OKC, it's time for them to prove that they can actually get it done against a team with a lot of experience that knows how to win in the playoffs. But I think they're good enough that with home court, they're going to get it done. OKC.
And Colton, you would have the Thunder versus the Pelicans.
Hot take alert.
What?
I think OKC, and this is going to be that thing that ages either wonderfully or badly. I think OKC's on upset alert, kind of no matter what team they play against. And
Wow.
that sounds crazy. Even saying it sounds crazy, but they're the youngest team to clinch a 1 seed, and maybe they just don't even know like what history is at their back as far as being that young of a team, right? Maybe they are the OKC with Harden and KD and Ibaka that just they were so in Westbrook, they were so young and they still made it to the finals. I don't know. I'm gonna pick an 8 seed upset over the 1 seed.
Whoa!
Mic drop. The Pelicans.
Whoa!
What? The Pelicans are gonna advance as an 8 seed in 7 games.
Wow. That's a hot take alert. That's the headline of this video so far. OKC out in the first round. All of us have the Nuggets and the Lakers rematch from the Western Conference Finals last year. That could be a crazy rematch. I still got Denver though. I think that it was a close series, but they beat them in 4, and they have that home court. I think it could be a good series. I just don't think the Lakers are probably going to be able to get over that Jokic hump.
They're just too good. Denver's just too good to lose in the first round like that. I think the Lakers could give them some trouble, especially if AD gets any kind of momentum going. That team, in my opinion, we've talked about this. I think they really rise and fall with how AD is playing and whether he's healthy. I mean, when he's unstoppable, he looks great. But I mean, he's going to be exhausted trying to guard Jokic. He's going to get embarrassed when Jokic starts doing stuff he shouldn't be able to do. It's just not going to last.
Yeah, it's Denver.
Yeah.
Do I need to analyze it? They have the best player in basketball. LeBron has been, aging better than I thought possible, than anybody thought possible. You got to give it to the guy. He's just still really good. He's going to be a matchup nightmare no matter what. He's going to turn it up in the playoffs, but if they're breaking it in the elements up there in Mile High, they got to get some shooting. They got to get the calls. They have to get the calls to make it an even series, which they could. And Anthony Davis is tough to stop, but Jokic is tougher. So I am going with the Nuggets, probably in 5 or 6 at the most.
Really?
I'd say
Yeah.
5.
Just lingering on this series for a second longer. The Lakers, they could come out with, some revenge on their mind potentially. The games were close last year. They might really lock in and have a good series, but they came in with revenge on their minds in I think it was the opening game of the season, and they got beat by the Nuggets. So I think it really almost doesn't matter what kind of mindset they come in. It just seems like Denver has their number. Health seems like it's been a little bit of a concern for the Nuggets towards the end of the season. Murray was down with injuries. Gordon was down with injuries, but I think they got the whole lineup healthy at this point. It seems like they might even have a somewhat like at least comparable, maybe even more talented bench, at least more veterans, and on that team coming off the bench. So, all right, we've got the 4 and 5 seed. This is gonna be a crazy matchup.
All the
matchup
matchups are good this year, all of them.
Yep, we got the Clippers and the Mavs. God, I
In
think
the West.
yeah, I think we got the. I think I'm gonna take the Mavericks. I think Luka and Kyrie are finding their groove. Yeah, I got them. I think I'm gonna take the upset there. Uh, tough. Yeah, it's a tough call though. I mean, that could go either way.
You know how I feel about the Los Angeles Clippers. I just have no faith in any of their stars as playoff guys, except I mean, obviously Kawhi has shown that he can do it, but he doesn't have the same type of team built around him this time. He's got guys who have shown that they can't really get it done in the playoffs. So yeah, I got the Mavs. I think it's time for them to go to the second round. Luka looks great.
Riley, you're a resident Luka detractor. Are you on board? Are you ready to ride the Luka train or what?
I mean, it's more complicated than that. Come on. It's not like I dislike Luka. I
It
didn't
seems like
really
he's had a better year this year when it comes to his attitude.
I think so. Yeah, I do think he's maturing. I see that. I still
Okay.
don't think that Kyrie's the right pairing for him long term. You know, and when we start talking about future rounds, that's definitely going to come into my analysis. But I think when it comes to getting over the Clippers, they're going to be tough.
Kyrie, I'm gonna say it has bought in Dallas. He is in a place maybe that closer aligns with where he's at politically in terms of some of his leanings, maybe because he doesn't seem to be, this isn't the vaccine gate place in Dallas, Texas,
His
right?
third eye is closing here.
Yeah. So he's buying in. He's heard all the noise, and they've been really good. Kind of what we were talking about. Luka really made a hard push for the MVP at the end of the season. He's probably not going to win it, but he was really good. I have the Mavericks as well. I think that the Clippers are just, who knows? Is Kawhi going to be hurt? I read a report that we weren't even sure if he was healthy for this. All their stars could be injured in the first 10 seconds of the game, and it wouldn't be a shock, as sad as that is. I don't want injuries to happen, but you just can't. I just can't pick this team. I really love Ty Lue. I think he can coach circles around the opposition, but other than that, I don't know if the Clippers have the advantage, even though they have the seed and home court advantage.
We're gonna have to turn this into rapid fire, guys. We're gonna have to shorten up our answers a little bit. We got the Timberwolves and the Suns. I'm going Suns on this one. I think that I don't trust Gobert in a playoff situation. I think that they're gonna be able to like small ball him out of the lineup, like has happened every time. I think the Suns are gonna oust the Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards is gonna be out of Minnesota before too long.
Whoa.
I mean, is that
Wow.
much of a surprise? A
That's a
superstar
hot
leaving
take for
Minnesota?
me. No, yeah, that's a hot take for me.
A
They were,
superstar leaving Minnesota?
they were the one seed most of the year. They're still young and growing for the most part. And Edwards is kind of that guy that has been cool with living in Minnesota for the most part up to this point. And we'll see how the playoffs treat him. But I'm going T-Wolves. I think the last year I was on board the Suns wagon. This year, they're old news. I've seen Yusuf Nurkic in playoff series before. By the way, he's never won a playoff series when he's been healthy. He's got a lot better health this time, but I think he's part of that. His maturity issues have been part of that, and maybe he's matured now. I'm picking the Timberwolves in
Riley?
5 or 6.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Timberwolves as well. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in either of these teams, to be honest. I think that they're both going to have trouble against better teams. But yeah, the Suns have looked kind of shaky to me. I mean, we're finally going to see whether that superstar lineup has any oomph to it. I just don't really have the faith that they're going to be able to play against an actual cohesive team.
All right, rapid fire for the Eastern Conference because no one cares about this game in particular. Bulls versus Hawks. Bulls versus
You mean
Hawks.
I care? Just kidding.
Either random East Coast team. I don't know. I guess I'm taking the Hawks in this one just because the Bulls are the most meh team I've ever seen. And in the second play-in, I gotta go. I think the Sixers, they're hot right now. They won 8 straight. Miami, I think will beat whoever the winner of that 9-8 seed is. So I think Miami's the 8th seed. I think the 76ers are the 7th seed. Man, that leaves Boston and Miami. That's going to be a wild matchup Boston. I think the Jimmy Magic is just going to run up against too good of a team there. Sixers and Knicks, another tough call, but I mean, it just depends on Embiid's health. If he's healthy, I think they could easily take out the Knicks. I'm taking him if he's healthy. And the Bucks Pacers, that's a hell of a matchup. That's one I wish we could spend a little bit more time on. Maybe we will as the playoffs progress. God, the Bucks have looked so bad. Giannis is injured. Wouldn't that be crazy? This 2 and 3 seed both lose.
You know what time it is to prove he's a top
Yeah.
75 player.
I
You
do
better
kind
show
of think
up.
Dame will probably get it done there, to be honest with you.
Ooh, okay.
These are all very tough calls for me, but I'll go Bucks there. And Magic and Cavs, another 2 random middling. The Magic have a lot of they've made a lot of strides this year. Cavs have kind of sort of stabilized where they are. I might God, third upset of the round, but I think I might take the Magic in that series. Colton, what do you think?
I got the same outcome in the play-in games as you. I don't want to spend really too much time on any of these, but I got Ice Trey getting it done, and then we got the 76ers smacking the smirks off the Heat fans' faces. It would be hilarious to me to see the Hawks beating the Heat, but I don't think it's going to happen. But Trae Young could get hot and do it. So I got the same lineup as you, the same seeding as you. And if we go Celtics Heat, I'm not a fan of either team, but I always love, I already predicted an 8-1 upset. I'm not going to do it again. So I'm going to take the Celtics. And in the 2-7, I'm weirdly going to say the Knicks. And I don't know if I would have done that as far as a couple weeks ago, but they climbed all the way up to the 2 seed. Jalen Brunson's been balling. He feels disrespected. He should have been the all-star starter over Dame. They lost Julius Randle, but does that really hurt when the inefficiency is just so glaring? Anyways, taking the Knicks. The Bucks Pacers, man. If Giannis was healthy, I would have to go the Bucks, right? But I could see the Pacers upsetting the Bucks with the
Yeah.
way Dame's been playing and with
They've
I
been
just think
so bad, the Bucks lately. So bad.
they're older. They're Brooke Lopez looking cooked, and Doc Rivers, Glenn Rivers, never want to be on your side, right?
They're gonna have a 3-1 lead at some point.
Yeah,
And then it's over.
finally, I'm picking in the last matchup. This is going to be the matchup that's on
So did
NBA.
you take the Pacers? Did you take the Pacers?
I'm going to take Game 7, the Bucks, because Giannis is going to come back. He's mad about the game ball. The last series, I'm going to make this quick. Nobody's going to watch this very much. I love the matchup, but this is going to be the NBA TV series. I'm just telling everybody watching this, it's going to be the Magic as well, Kirby. I'm on board with you. It's going to be close. Donovan Mitchell, the air with him basically saying he's going to leave, but not really saying it. I feel like that just hangs over everything, just like it did last year when they got eliminated by the Knicks.
Yep.
So I'm taking the Magic.
I think the big takeaway here is that we're more excited about the West than the East. I don't know if everybody in the NBA feels that way. There's probably some East Coast fans out there, but my goodness, those matchups look more interesting. I'm going to take the other side with the Chicago game. I think Chicago maybe will pull it out because I think that we need the narrative that sends Ice Trey to San Antonio to play with Wemby, and getting knocked out of the play-in game might make that more interesting.
Could happen.
I think that the 76ers win the second play-in game, and ultimately I end up with pretty much the same bracket as you guys because I think that the Heat are going to then beat Chicago handily, no problem. And so then
Last
I
year it was a
think
problem. Last year
yeah,
the Heat
but
almost
they're
got
not the
eliminated
same
by
team this
Chicago.
year. They don't look like the same team this year to me. So I think that then, yeah, the Knicks are gonna beat the 76ers. I think that they look good. I think that the Knicks have a lot of momentum, a lot of chip on their shoulder, like you were saying. And Embiid's been looking good, but he also hasn't had enough time to quite get into shape for a playoff run, I don't think. So yeah, I think that the Knicks will pull that one out. I think that the Celtics will definitely win that series. The Celtics look like they're on a mission this year. I think I said something similar last year too, but I do think that they're going to at least be able to win that first matchup. I think the Pacers are going to pull it out. I think that the Bucks look very weak. I'm never going to bet on Glenn Rivers. Giannis is beat up, and Dame, according to Stephen A. Smith, Dame's already once out of Milwaukee. He's already unhappy there. That report dropped this morning that Dame is
Oh.
unhappy in Milwaukee and that Milwaukee must trade Damian Lillard.
Is that a Stephen A-ism, or is that any basis in anything?
I mean, I've been saying that for weeks. Just look at his socials. He looks miserable, and they haven't been playing well at all. And now he has Glenn Rivers for a coach. I can't blame him for not wanting to be there.
What a fumble by the Bucks. From Giannis to the coach to the front office. What a complete fumble. Like, how did they not ingratiate him into their organization? And that's That's a terrible culture moment for
Terrible.
them.
Terrible. Also, not really that surprising when you've got Glenn at the helm.
They should have never fired Budenholzer. I feel like
Yeah.
the whole culture just crumbled with that. He never deserved that, especially like right after his brother died. It was a shitty move.
Yeah. To finish it off, I think that Cleveland's gonna beat Orlando. I think that one's close. No, I don't have a whole big basis for why or anything. I just think that Cleveland has enough talent to get over Orlando. Orlando's definitely still young. Both teams are pretty young, but yeah, I think Cleveland will pull it out with home court advantage.
Gonna be a wild play-in in first round, as evidenced by we started making these predictions. I started realizing like, oh man, some of these I really have no idea. And it begins with the very first play-in games here coming up. Is it
The
tomorrow?
20th, I
It's
thought.
tomorrow. No, I think or is it next week or is it tomorrow?
I think it's the 20th. The first round of the playoffs. Oh,
No, the play-in. I think
is it tomorrow?
yeah, it's tomorrow. Yeah, we
Gotcha.
got Lakers at Pelicans at 4:30, Warriors at Kings at 7 o'clock. So this shit is coming fast and it's starting off with a bang. I'm excited. Thanks everyone for watching our predictions videos. We'll be back next week to discuss the news of the league, and as the games shake out and the first round starts to flesh out, it's gonna be fun.
Bye.
Goodbye.